Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. First disclaimer, the hum you hear is a furnace. I happen to take these videos down in what I call my gun room, which also doubles for the area where the furnace and the hot water heater are. So, hence the beautiful view behind me or to the side of me and the noise that you're hearing. All right, let's get on with it. So, without further ado, today is going to be a special unboxing. Why special? Well, first of all, I don't have the box. It's actually in the gun safe. But the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is the reason why it's special is because of the manufacturer. I'll be the first one to tell you, I shop with my wallet. There are a lot of guns out there that I love to own, but I just don't have the wallet to purchase them. I can mention some of the manufacturers, Kimber, Lesbar, you know, great firearms are produced by those companies, but I can't afford $3,000 for a custom firearm. And I couldn't justify it even if I could. But that's a personal thing. But this particular manufacturer has always eluded me. Why? Not because they're so far out of the realm of possibilities for ownership, but they're too far out of the realm for me. And the company is Sig Sauer. Sig Sauer. It has a reputation out there of building some fantastic firearms. They're purpose built, they are highly durable, and they are super accurate. Anybody who owns one, anybody who shot one will probably attest to that fact. Some people love them, some people hate them, but the reality is it's very difficult not to actually acknowledge a Sig Sauer and the quality that you get with that particular gun. Unlike a Glock, which is utilitarian at best, I don't know a lot of people out there who say, kicking and screaming, that they would pay $1,000, $1,100 for a off-the-shelf Glock. Maybe a Glock set up like a 17L for competition shooting, potentially, but a lot of them don't clamor around a Glock like they would around a Sig. Now here's the deal. I tried to noodle out in my head why SIGs were so expensive, and I kind of figured it out this way. They cater to a certain clientele. A clientele who understands the quality, durability, and accuracy and is willing to pay for that. Kind of a cut above. And they elude that. They just came out with the new Legion series. The Legion series is even more expensive than the standard 226/228 series that I'm looking at getting. For the guns that I was looking at, it's anywhere between $800 to $1,100, let's say, new in the box, depending on what you get. For the Legion series, they're looking at those things hovering over $1,300. $1,300 for basically a SIG 226 or a 228. That's, I don't know. I can't justify it. I'm sure there are other people out there with deep wallets who can, or with a credit card that hasn't reached its max yet, who are willing to go out and get a SIG Legion. What they have done with the Legion series is they've made it an exclusive club. If you have a Legion, I've read that it gives you certain access to, you know, materials, promotional stuff, and or events in which the Legion series is being heavily promoted, or you may have an in to buy, what do I know, a gold-plated Legion. I don't know. But I'm sure that their marketing department has thought of some fantastic things when it comes to promoting the Legion series that they're producing now. That's not to say it's any more accurate than the standard SIG that they're putting out there, but again, a lot of this is marketing, and that's all I can attribute it to. I'm sure somebody will tell me, why and the whats and the wheres, and I invite them to do so. But I digress. Let's talk about why I'm excited. I'm excited because I can finally afford a SIG. I found one, I bought it, and I absolutely love it. And the reason why is because I guess, like finding your first Porsche, it's great to get behind the wheel of one, but you always kind of have that nagging thing in the back of your head that said, I can never really afford to buy it or to own it. with this gun, this was right in the Volkswagen wheelhouse for me. And without further ado, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Sig SP2022, or the Sig Pro. This basically is a Sig 226/228. It's kind of a cross between both. It's got some fantastic features that are built into the gun already, but what differentiates it from the Sig 226/228 series is it's actually a polymer pistol. It's got a polymer lower. It's got a steel upper and a polymer lower. Unlike the 226 series, which is alloy or steel, this is not that monkey. This is different. It's got the polymer lower. Okay, some of you Sig snobs out there will say, it's got a polymer lower. No good. I'm going to look at you and say, what about the Glock? Glock's got a steel top and a polymer lower, and look at what kind of success story they've run with that. There are a lot of pistols made nowadays that have steel tops, polymer lowers. In fact, I would argue that there are some of the most successful firearms sold in the United States. So, why would the Sig snobs turn their nose up at this? I think they do it because they don't know. Honestly, I think they've never handled one. They've never fired it. They've never looked at it. Because if you have, you're going to know, it's unloaded, you're going to know that this firearm is basically a 226/228. It is the same gun. It's a little bit smaller than a 226, a little bit larger than a 228, but it's, for all intents and purposes, a cheaper version. It's got some features that the other ones don't. It's got a built-in Picatinny rail. It's got, on this particular gun, it's two-tone with the stainless, brushed stainless top and the polymer bottom. This came standard with night sights, Sig sights. Again, something that doesn't come with your standard Sig 226 or 229. That requires a little bit more money. It's not to say you can't get it. It's just to say if I were to buy, the basic version, that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a non-stainless steel top and a non-stainless steel frame. I'm going to get something that's probably Parkerized, and I'm not going to get night sights. Probably going to get 3-dot sights on that. And that I'm looking at pushing between $800 and $1,100. I don't know. Can't justify it. This has got the hammer drop, which is on the side, which is, a safety feature that Sig is known for. And I think it's fantastic because I don't have to manually drop the hammer, which is dangerous for most people. It's in single action mode. It's got about a 4-pound pull. And it's got a very positive reset. You can hear it go click. And in double action mode, it's got about a 10-pound pull before it releases. And you definitely, when you're pulling up the trigger, it's not sloppy. There's no take up. From beginning to end, I am pulling the trigger. And to a certain degree, that's what the manufacturer wants you to understand. If you need to utilize this firearm for any reason, they want you to know that when it's in double action mode, that you are actually pulling the trigger. So from that perspective, I think it's brilliant. Overall, I've shot this gun, put about 200 rounds through it. Not enough to really get a super great feel for it, but enough to understand what I have here. And I can tell you, it is a great gun to shoot. I'm not a crack shot. I used to be a lot better until I started wearing glasses. But this particular firearm, you can't help but shoot it well. The average shooter, I think, is a little better shooting this gun because for some odd reason, it's got almost a retarded blowback system. So I'm not quite sure how Sig set that up. I don't know whether it's spring related or what magic, fairy dust they've sprayed on it. But, as you fire this gun, it cycles in such a way that, you don't get a lot of muzzle flip. So it's easier to keep on target after your first shot. And I think for an old hand like me, that's an important feature. This gun's got an internal extractor. The new ones, including the Legion series, have a long external extractor. I've seen a lot of noise on the internet about internal versus external, and I can tell you honestly, I can't see where either one is better than the other. Um, I want to have an extractor with a big, heavy face, a big face to grab a hold of that rim and rip that out and extract it when it needs to be extracted. And I could care less if it's external or internal. One of the features that it doesn't have is it doesn't have a cartridge indicator. Some of them do. This one doesn't. This is in 40 cal, 40 Smith & Wesson. They do make it in 357 SIG and 9mm SIG. I am definitely going to buy this gun in 9mm SIG. And I tell you, if I get it for the price point I bought it for, I may even buy two. Because I like it so much, I'd probably give one to my dad. It is that nice of a gun. And the only reason why I buy 9, I actually prefer 40, but the only reason why I buy 9 is because 9mm has become a very affordable cartridge to shoot. I can get 59s for about $9 to $10, and that's a box. Where I'm looking at same manufacturer in 40 cal, I'm looking at about $13 to $14. So, you know, I can almost buy. It's almost half of what it costs for me to get a box of 9. So, and I'm all about shooting, practicing. If I'm going to carry this as a carry weapon, concealed carry or open carry, I'm going to want to practice with this because, you know, I'm going to rely on this potentially to save my life or those around me. So I'm going to want to make sure I'm proficient with it. This particular, because it's in 40 cal, it comes with two Sig 12 round magazines. So in this, if I load it up with 12, and I'm looking at 13 shots because it's 12 plus 1. So, you know, after you load it, drop it, top it off, and then, you know, drop the slide, drop the hammer release, you're ready to rock and roll. It's got a very large slide release, which is on the side. It doesn't interfere with firing the firearm at all, and it's got your hammer release. The magazine release is reversible. I can put it on the left or right side, though the gun is set up to shoot for a right-handed shooter only because the slide release, or I'm sorry, the hammer release and the slide release are both on the left-hand side of the firearm. Sorry, lefties. But it's it definitely is something that I would promote. The other thing that this comes with, before I forget, is it comes with a removable backstrap. The grip itself, about here all the way back, comes off, and then you can pop another one on. In this case, the box came, like I said, it came with 2 magazines, and it came with another grip, a larger grip for it. This is the medium. It fits my hand. I have a medium hand well, but if you had larger hands and you wanted a little bit more, you could put the grip on. It's a matter of you depressing a button at the bottom and pulling the grip off and then putting the other one on. It's a seamless unit, so if I look at it, it contours well into the side of the actual the pistol, so that I can't see the difference. It blends in so well that you can't really tell that you have, you know, a separate grip on this, or a grip that can be separated, I should say. It's got stippling. It's nice. It's not the most aggressive stippling I've had, but it definitely is tactile, and you can feel it in your hand. Sweaty hands or something like that, you'll have an easier time holding on to it. So it's not sandpaperish by any stretch of the imagination, and it feels good. Overall, if I were to give this a rating, I would give this an excellent rating. I give it an excellent rating for the reasons that I've mentioned. The fit and finish is fantastic. The firearm itself is fantastic. It's durable, it's accurate, and it comes from Sig Sauer, who's got a stellar reputation in the firearms world, so you can't go wrong. And for the price point at $350 delivered in the box with an extra magazine, that's insane. It's an absolutely insane price. If you find this, I'm going to post the site that I have it on reluctantly, that I bought this from. But if you find one, I would encourage you to go ahead and pick that up. You can't go wrong with it. And if you really want to get a feel for it, go to your local firearms dealer, and hopefully they will have a Sig Pro that you can handle, and you can see if it's the right gun for you, which I always encourage. But with that said, again, this is the Sig SP2022. I invite any comments, any good or bad that you've seen handling or using this firearm. But from me to you, I think this is one heck of a deal. And since I shop with my wallet, this is a dream come true. Thanks. Talk to you guys soon.